From episode 34, or series 2, episode 1, going to Mr. Hep here with the Mainly Golf Show. I'm Jack Milner. No Magic Marv, he's too busy on location
Too
at
busy.
making Bitcoin grass. All he needs
Doing
is a big
fuck
fucking
all.
arrow pointing down, pointing down. You don't need a graph for that, Marv. We're here as the both seasons have kind of got into swing now. The PGA Tour officially relaunched with its. They kept trying to make out it was like a full roster last week. It wasn't. It's a full roster this week for the American Express as the PGA Tour goes to La Quinta, California, and
Quinta.
what?
I just say La Quinta.
La Quinta,
La
Quinta,
Quinta.
get in. It was that noose. And the DP World Tour is back with a bang. The Dubai Desert Classic no longer have to pay Tiger Woods millions of dollars to get beat by Thomas Bjorn, as I think he did in 2002. My dad backed Thomas Bjorn that week, went on about it for about fucking 20 years afterwards. You know, that Tiger, he's not here, just, he's not here to win. He's happy with the cash. Don't work like that, Dad. Yeah, that Thomas Bjorn. Yeah, I know he is. Yeah, that Thomas Bjorn. Let me have a look. 2001. Bjorn beat Harrington and Tiger Woods. Honestly, went on about it every fucking year. 82. How could he be 80 to 1? It's after time and so two big tournaments. But we'll have a look at back. Hey, did you watch any? Did you? I didn't even realize this until the adverts came on during the golf. That there was like a Ryder Cup preview with UK and Ireland against Europe. I didn't even know it was
Yeah,
going on.
I saw the Friday scores, and then I was like, "Oh, I might actually watch that on Saturday because I like match play stuff." Completely missed, and then this afternoon I was trying to Google to see who won points. All I managed to find out because the coverage was that bad was that Fleetwood won all four of his matches. Um,
Was it in Dubai? I'm guessing all the people playing in Dubai Desert.
yeah,
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 right.
yeah.
Okay.
But
It's
yeah,
I
I
suppose
was
it's,
trying to get point scores, but I couldn't find out.
so it's very rare you get all the top European players together because most of them will go to America right for the big tournaments. But then realistically, the other half out or the bottom third, the bottom rung aren't good enough to
Yeah,
get in. So they're normally flagging the DP, so it makes sense. But
yeah,
fair
they
play
had
to them actually.
Hatton and Rom, and I think no, Rom might not be there, but
The live
a few live
golfers,
guys, a few live
yeah.
guys.
And in America, it was a. We always said like DP European Tour Sundays are always mental because you see so many players get to the lead and then just completely bottle it. There was, if you were trading the Sony Open, it was absolute carnage. Fishman was 5-2 running favourite after the headed into the weekend. I mean, we messaged in our group chat saying this is like the biggest max lay you've ever seen, and
I mean,
I
who
think
thinks
he,
at that point with like 20 golfers, two shots back, that he has a 33% chance of winning or whatever it is? Like, who is putting that bet on for him to win?
I think Russell Henley traded about three. Well, this is our pick beforehand. If we had a record, if the Russell Henley he traded about 3.6, 3.7. Danny McCarthy, still the best putter on the planet. He was horrendous off the tee on Saturday when the winds picked up and he couldn't wait to get off the golf course. He nearly nicked a place, but I think he's another one that will probably go well this week. He was in the lead. He was about 3 to 4, 3 to 1, 4 to 1 favorite. But then you had Stephen Yeager tied for the lead, running like God. He was, I think, a short 6 to 4. He made a double out of bounds. JJ Spawn, who Hep flagged up him running at halfway, saying, "Well, what was the start, Hep off the tee?"
He was number one tee to green, and then losing strokes putting. So it's just a gamble on. Hopefully the putting turns around and the approach is a bit more sticky, which it did work until it didn't at the end.
He was one clear with 3 to play. Missed a birdie putt at 18 to which would have had a playoff with Nico Echeverria and Nick Taylor. Taylor chipped in for eagle, having gone through the green at 18 into the grandstand, got a free drop. And the Colombian birdied, I think, three of the last five. Great up and down at 18 with his third. Two playoff holes. Echeverria, both there in two. I think he was left with about 25, 30 feet and 70 feet for eagle both ties. Taylor had to lay up. Hit his third to, I think, 9 feet, drained it, and the Colombian three putters. So,
I
fucking hell.
wonder which one you had money on.
I mean, I can't wait. It's like when the boys grow up and they're older. I'm just talking about my dad and Thomas Bjorn. I'll be there watching this golf with them,
Yeah.
going, this lad, he was
Nico
10 to 1 on.
Echeverria.
And I was on him like, yeah, fucking shut up, Dad. Like, you won't believe how unlucky I've been at life. Yeah, I know. You tell us this every week. That Matt Cooch, yeah, he was two up before to play Mexico, and he lost. Like Keegan Bradley when he did the same, I think
Don't know
18
how
months
many
ago.
shoes you could have had.
Um,
You big boys.
the worst one will always be the one in South Africa. Do you remember when I'm top of the DK rankings, and they go for a 4 hour thunder and lightning break, and Rasmus and Tristan Lawrence both shoot the next six and four over, and I go from top to finishing like 50. I think I took George swimming. Did I come out? I'm like, what
Yeah,
has happened here? Yeah, I
take
think
a
that was
big cash.
another Bezzy special. That Bezzy has got a good record at La Quinta. He was second behind Nick Dunlop last year. Hep, if you had a look at this week, Xander Schauffele is back, the two-time major winner. He's at 8-1 market leader for the
As you said,
first leg of the
yeah, all the
California swing.
few of the big boys back is good to see. It is still a pro am. It is still split over three courses. This one, so is with
I say.
like only one of the courses showing on TV. So it's not the greatest tournament, and you have to get through these pro-ams to properly start the season. But I mean, yeah, I think I heard Xander's come third the last 2 years here. So putting all your money in at 8-1 on Xander, don't probably isn't going to be the worst strategy for this week. But yeah, no one else behind him really interests me, to be honest. Like until you get to the long shots at 51-1, we've had Rahm win this a couple of times recently as heavy favourites, but apart from that, as you said, Dunlap last year, and there's some really long, like triple figure odds winners here recently. So yeah, I think it is one to take a bit of a punt because nobody really in the top eight outside of just going on Xander really interests me. I don't know about you.
Yeah, Nick Dunlop, I think as an amateur, I think he was still quietly fancied. He wasn't a stupid price. I think he's at 150-1. Hudson Swafford when he's second, he shot a final round. I think it was like 64, definitely about eight under. When there's a couple of like iffy leaders, Andrew Landry, Adam Long, Bill Haas, Andrew
Andrew, that was
Duffner.
the guy. Yeah,
Landry, yeah, who's great in. I always remember Landry, great in wind. He'd be one of those for DraftKings picks around the 6,500 mark. Even going back, Brian Gay, I think it was first time. I think it was Patrick Reed's first win on tour in maybe in 2014. So you can get an upset. And with you, if you're looking at the market, Justin Thomas 14-1, Sam Burns 16s, Cantley 16s. I think you'd have to be for absolutely ludicrous to be backing them at these prices.
yeah,
I've always been a fan of
same.
Kurt Kitayama, and again, it's on the west coast, right? You're going to get a lot of wind. Um, Kitayama's been smashed up. Now I
Because
love
how
Kitty.
how is he 33? That's
He's a
outrageous.
ridiculous price. He was 45s and 50s this morning. I
Fucking
presume someone
Harry
like
Hall at 40s. Like,
yeah. I mean, Harry Hall played really well when I think when Jaeger won in Houston last year. He was one of the people in the bunch behind him with Scheffler.
yeah,
He was playing well this week and he made a really unfortunate double around the turn. But again, he's really short comparative
yeah.
to his
Like I'd
chances.
rather take three people at 120s than one Harry Hall, or three in the 90s than one Kittyama. Like those prices are pretty crazy.
Seb Straka's 60-61. He had another good week this week, another top 10. I don't know whether Bezzy can win, but he has been in good nick. Played obviously on the South Africa swing of the
Yeah,
DP World Tour. Even again, you mentioned even bigger prices. Billy Horschel, I think he's hugely overpriced. Like Billy
where's he?
Horschel's
Oh yeah,
100 to
hundreds.
he's 100-1.
Yeah, really, yeah, great end of last year. Yeah, Horsfield's a
He,
shout.
he won for the second time at Wentworth. He beat Rory McIlroy and Tristan Lawrence in a playoff.
Yeah,
He will be carrying my money this week. Yes, but
Glover's playing
Spence,
well at hundreds.
Lucas Glover's another one. Yeah, he played really well this week. I still can't get on board with his putting style. But he's of that type of American, very steady, could go low. Probably overpriced. Landry and Long when they both won these tournaments previously, they'd been on tour for a while. I think he's one of those. You need one of those players who've been on tour for say what 10, 12 years, and they're looking to get a win and get that 2 year exemption or someone who's relatively experienced. Jesper Svensson's one of 10 players who got their PGA Tour cards thanks to their performance on the DP World Tour. He's a Swedish player, hits the mile. I wouldn't be surprised to him do quite well in his rookie season. Likewise, I know he's kind of up there or thereabouts somehow every year in different tournaments. Adam Schenk was another one with the top 10 this week out of nowhere. I
It
think
just
he,
turns up, doesn't it? Just every now and again, just
but you got to, but he's very streaky. I think it was around the time of his missus due for their first child, and I think he made like four top tens in about six, seven starts. He's 175 to 1 with Paddy Power, eight places. I think Schenke is a good chance, not a good chance. He could very well miss the cut this week, but then he could also shoot 63, 64 and sneak into a backdoor top 10. So for
yeah,
175 to 1, he's worth a few quid. But I mean, you could argue contraries like with Sander Schauffele, he's been for the last like year, he's been playing second fiddle to Scheffler. And when it's been, say, Scheffler 5-2, Scheffler 7-2, Xander's been about 30. Xander's been the same price with
yeah,
Scheffler
that's
still in
true.
the field. So
And you've not got Rory here.
you've not got Rory, there's no Scheffler. If you do fancy Xander and you fancy him for the tournaments, back him at 8 to 1 rather than backing him at shorter
Yeah,
when you get to the Masters.
it wouldn't be a stupid strategy. That just being your only bet this year, this week.
And I'm going to say, if you'd have adhered to backing the star player in the field, um, on tour last year. You did all right. I think, well,
Would have
obviously,
paid
look
off.
at Rory and Lowry were in Zurich. I know
Might be
Marv
the first
doesn't.
one you go to.
But I was thinking Rory at Wells Fargo, right? Quail Hollow. I think he was 72 favourite. Scheffler won how many times? Seven times on tour. He was never not. I think he was never bigger than 4 to 1. And then I think Xander won a couple when he was quite fancied as well. So it's just no fun in backing him. Okay, I mean, we could have all just lumped on
No,
Scheffler, but where's the fun in that? It's like buying Bitcoin in it
yeah,
and
I'd
then just
rather bet
waiting.
on Matteo Manacero this week at 275s. The Frenchman coming over for his first. Well, he got his card last this year, hasn't he? So he's obviously
Manasero's
played
one.
the PGA before, but
Yeah, he's one of the 10. Another couple that have kind of hinted at revival. Zalatoris played well 2 weeks ago in. Where'd they go? Did they go to Mexico? Not Sony Open, the one beforehand. Uh,
uh,
where,
tournament of
Hawaii?
champions, or yeah,
The Sentry, yeah. Zalatoris played much better, and I thought it was interesting. Brian Harman showed signs of a comeback. He made a complete bollocks of 16 and give his chance where beforehand he was ticking along nicely. And he's the type of stoic, drab, miserable guy that can kind of grind his way through these tournaments and not get kind of taken in by all the histrionics of the pro-am and three different courses. It is going to be terrible because you won't get shot tracker on two-thirds of
two
the
of them.
players out there.
Fucking
So we'll see. But if we're going to split the 10 points, do you want to have a look, even look at Dubai?
Yeah, should we do Dubai first?
Are you going to put any of your 10 points there?
No, because the market there is absolutely ridiculous. Because you've got two guys. You've got Rory at fours, Rahm at fives, and then still loads of people up to 20s. You got then Tommy at 11s, Hovland at 60. Like
Tyrrell,
the, yeah, and then you're getting into people like Patrick Reed's at 35s and the Hoygaard's at five. The odds in this one are like no way with two golfers at 5 to 1 should everyone else be as short as they are. It's
mm,
yeah, it's a ridiculous market.
it's a latest market. Let's spread the 10 points across it, like Inter instead for the American Express.
Yeah, go back to that. So my first one's going to be Mac Messiner, uh,
Of
90 to
Scouts.
1, 365. Yeah, exactly. I think it's his second year on tour. Played pretty well last season. Had a good T10, I believe, last week. Was more in it at some points before falling away a bit in the fourth round. So yeah, at 100 to 1, I like his chance of potentially getting up there for a place again. If he's going to win it, I don't really know, but at hundreds or 90s, he's going to be my first one. And I'll throw over to you as I scroll for my second one.
Well, I'll spread them around. I'll clarify the price. I will say 1 point each way on. Who did I just say? 175 to 1. Help us out, Paul.
Uh, Charlie
It
Hoff? No.
wasn't Vince
Uh,
Waller. Adam Schenk, 1 point each way, 175s. What do you make of Jacob Bridgewater's another one that I couldn't get right last year. Um, but yeah, it's just you look through the list and you think he could have a good week, he could have a good week, he could have a week, but obviously it's so temperamental. Um, Matt McCarthy, he won late last year on tour. He's got the wraparound series. I think shot really low to go and win one of those.
yeah,
I
I
mean
had no idea who he was last week. I
Sanderson's
just,
like yeah, exactly, and but he's hyped up as a big. He's a big price of Paddy Power, 175 to 1. But I'll stick to some familiar faces. Again, Billy Horschel's 90 to 1. I think that's too big. We'll have 2 points each for him, and I've got to stick with Danny again. He just not that Saturday round was too bad for Drew. Tommy Fleetwood went through this where he'd been in contention, then that Saturday round would absolutely murder him. Um, if you take that out, obviously, my auntie had bollocks with my uncle, but take that third round out, and he has a much better week. So Danny McCarthy, 2 points each way, 2.5 points each way on him at 50 to 1. We'll have 1.5 points each way on Billy Horschel, another one on Adam Schenk. Well, that's the 10 pointer. Nice spread.
yeah, yeah, no, but yeah, I keep getting suckered in by Daniel Berger and big numbers. He's 100 to 1
At
again.
least it's not
Like,
Tom Hoge.
it could well be soon. Um, but yeah, he's just, I don't know. He's obviously coming back from an injury, but his talent is so much better than anyone else around him. And it just gets me every week. But I'm not going to go there. I'm going to go for Lucas Glover. He's been playing very well. Never
That's not
won
bad
at
for him.
hundreds. Um, yeah, so I'm going to have 2.5 each way on Glover and 2.5 each way on Mac Messina.
Big stakes, big names, big price. I mean, it's interesting. You know about Daniel Berger. Did these players come back? Like Jason Day had his injuries, didn't he? He's never really got. I know he won a tournament a few years ago. But I think did he win a playoff against? Might be like a Horschel. It's sort of someone. He won a playoff in very fortunate circumstances. But
Yeah.
Berger's another one. He's never really got back from his injury.
What did he do? What was his injury?
I think it might have been short. I know he was in that. Was he in
Sure.
the Ryder Cup team of 2018? I know he's good mates with speed and just. I will say Justin Thomas this week at 12 to 1. 9 to
Yeah.
1 with 365. Jesus fucking Christ. Oh, Sanders pulled out.
Oh, really?
So that's why he's
Smash,
probably be
smash
some
a lash.
prices come right. We need to get on this quickly. Sanders pulled out. Justin
Wow.
Thomas is a 10 to 1 market leader with 365. Oh my God, this is
Should
ridiculous.
we
Have you
record the podcast?
it's a bit late now. The boys up in 10 minutes, but wow, best breaking news. No Xander this week. I thought, fuck that. I'm not going to the Kinter and pissing up these
Yeah, Scheffler's not coming up
amateurs.
with his injured hand. Then
Imagine if you've like got your draft teams picks in early. He's already in them, like absolutely raging.
redos.
They announced it 6 minutes ago, 21 minutes ago. He's been replaced by Philip Knowles. No reason has been given yet. Can't be asked.
Yeah, fuck the pro ups.
If you had to pick
All right.
a winner or some
Um,
value in Dubai, who would you go with?
shit. It's just Rory's tournament, isn't it? Doesn't he always win this one?
He's got a great record here, yeah. He's won it, I think, I want to say he won it last year. It was a
Yeah.
poor renewal last year. He's won it 4 times. Baronk had a really good tournament. I know he's not set the world alight since going to live, but he's another one which is probably overpriced this week.
What do you get him at?
Um,
80s. Yeah.
no, he's not that big, I don't think. Yeah, he's
Oh,
81, 365.
I'll
Wow,
check
yeah, he's
his
a big price.
availability. Yeah.
Tristan Lawrence is another one, but um, I think and Ryan Fox. It's a big course. I think they have three par fives in the last six holes to finish. Um, then two, I think are probably the best of those at the bigger prices. I wouldn't go anywhere near those in the top. I liked Rasmus this morning. He's been back 33s into 20s. That's too short now.
Yeah,
And
I could
and
get behind
then
Victor just from pure talent, but the people behind him, Scott, Bobby Mack, Højgaard, Olsen, all like between 20s and 33s. When you've got McIlroy, Rahm, Hatton, Fleetwood, Hovland at the top of the board, is those prices are just ridiculous.
I think you've got to be looking at something around 50 to 1 a minimum here, especially with. I mean, to be fair, it's a small field, right? I think there's only like 80. No, there's Jesus Christ, it's
No,
4 feet this week.
who's going?
Oh my God, you just keep scrolling down, going, oh yeah,
Yeah,
you can't
I
justify
like
that.
your Morant call. I mean, that's a good one.
Am I right? Yeah, I mean, it's just he left on bad terms, right? I think he was so bitter about missing out on that Ryder Cup spot
Yeah,
to Nikolai Højgaard, and he says some silly things, which we all do. But he's a talented kid. You don't win three times on tour out here unless you're any good. So we'll back it. We'll throw a few shekels in him, 80 to 1. Okay, thanks for the
yeah.
silence. Yeah, it's an audio podcast here. Cheers, pal. I'll fill in the blanks.
You're
So
asking a bloody question.
Billy Horschel wins in turn. Hopefully, Lucas Glover will need a bit of place money. We'll be back next week with Magic Marv as we get one step closer.
Yeah.
I think it's Pebble Beach next week, right?
Yeah, who knows with the California stuff, but I think it's
It's
meant to be Pebble.
it sounds about right. Magic Marv's got a good record around there. Lumped on Sneds 1 year, lumped on Tiger a few more. He'll hopefully have a winner. We'll hopefully have a winner this week, and we'll be back next week for episode 35. Ta-ra!